Although some may argue that she is right to criticize supporters, everyone cannot deny being moved by her. Miranda Lambert's authenticity and powerful voice enable her to connect with fans on an emotional level, tackling difficult topics like domestic violence, heartbreak, and self-empowerment. Her ability to draw from personal experiences sets her apart. Her journey offers a glimpse into her tragic struggle. In 1983, Rick and Bev Lambert welcomed Miranda Lee Lambert into the world in Longview, Texas. Her parents called her Lucy Miranda after her great-grandmother, her father. Rick, a former Dallas police officer in the 1970s, was a guitarist, songwriter, and member of the country rock band Cont Band. After having their daughter, Rick and his wife launched a private detective firm in Longview, where they reared Miranda. Rick and Bev achieved success. By age 7, their daughter joined the team for unusual instances. The family had a new house, 2 cars, dogs, and livestock, but the oil crash in Texas at the end of the decade caused work to stop and the family had to start over. They moved to Lindale, a small town with a good school system, and rented farmland to house their livestock. Miranda was enrolled in first grade while the child was younger. Bev took Miranda to school and returned to the farm to feed animals and pray for God's provision. A few months later, an old preacher offered Bev a better house for less rent if she helped renovate a larger farmhouse. Bev and Rick were hired by Paula Jones lawyers to investigate Bill Clint. Miranda said, "We always had tons of people at our house. It's just an old farmhouse. My friends who lived in the city had swimming pools and four-wheelers and all that. We lived out in the country with a vegetable garden, yet they were always going, 'Let's go to your house.' I would think, why? Now I realized that it was because at my house it was so homey. We took in just everybody." All this while she was in school, and even though her grades weren't the best, she worked hard and was a committed young girl. In other aspects of her life, she participated actively in her church band. When she was 10, her father had taken her to a Gar Brooks show at the peak of the Brooks career, and when Miranda returned home with her father, she said to her father, "Daddy, I would like to do that someday." At this point she had only sung in the praise band in church. Her father told her she had the ability to, and soon after that he started trying to push her to learn how to play the guitar, but Miranda just wasn't interested. He eventually got her a guitar when she was 14, and still she wasn't into it. According to her father, Miranda was dancing, cheerleading, and doing all the things young girls get involved in with their peers. Like other teenagers during high school, she had unpleasant encounters. She struggled with her looks and self-esteem, describing her awful appearance as wearing large jeans and t-shirts without makeup. Her lack of fashion sense during her teens may have contributed to her unhappiness. Her family's love was enough to make up for that deficit. Growing up with her brother Luke, she experienced a unique blend of affection and support, even though her parents' private investigation business brought other challenging elements into their lives. Though there wasn't any physical harm to them, the impact of her parents' work placed an emotional burden on Miranda and her brother, but instead of bringing the kids down, it only made them stronger. By the time she was 16 and heard the radio ad for the True Value Country Showdown, she was confident enough to participate in it. She told her parents that she wanted to enter, so they helped her record 2 of her father's original songs. With this, she was accepted into the competition. She lost, but she got great feedback, and this was enough to encourage her. She made her professional singing debut on the Johnny High Country Music Review in Arlington, Texas. This was the same talent show that had helped launch the career of Leanne Rice. After attending a musical seminar, she decided to go to Nashville to cut a demo, but she wasn't happy with the experience. She had been forced to record only pop type of music, and she became frustrated with it, saying the songs were awful and cheesy. She recalled, "What happened after I cried in the studio? My dad spent $66,000 to do those demos, and we didn't have $6,000 at all. It was terrible." But he says, "It was a cheap lesson because I learned in 3 hours what I wanted to do." Miranda eventually left the studio and returned home to ask her father to teach her how to play guitar so that she could write her own songs. She immediately started writing songs. She explained, "The sudden ability, it's the only thing that's ever come naturally to me. I had to work at everything. I sucked in school. I sucked at sports except for softball, but I had to work at that. I was a cheerleader but always had to stay after. Music was the first thing I did where I was naturally talented." It was while she was still in high school that she formed the Texas Pride Band. They landed their first professional singing engagement in Dallas at Deep Ellum's Gypsy T.E. Room after that Miranda began performing with the band as the house band of the legendary Rio Pal Mile Ballroom in Longview, 45 miles from home. There she had to perform 4 hours a night for 3 nights a week. She would often get back to Lindale around 4 a.m. then get up for school in the morning. Miranda stated, "My parents were shocked about how passionate I was about it, but they basically dropped everything and just gave it everything they had. I learned so many songs. I learned how to deal with fans and drunks. It was a crash course and I had to learn really fast." She acknowledged that at this point her uncertain future was the main cause of her concern. She expressed a sense of fear about what lay ahead, saying, "I would tell my 17-year-old self that it's all going to be okay." After entering talent contests in Dallas, Miranda was signed by an agency and landed a small role in a Ruffles potato chip ad and a role in the 2011 comedy film Slap Her She's French in Nashville. In the same year, Miranda placed second out of 400 competitors for the role of Tammy Wynette in the musical Stand By Your Man. She also published her self-titled debut album with 10 tunes. After graduating high school early, she dedicated herself to music full-time, stating that she couldn't study in a book. Her father funded a $2,000 CD showcasing her songs, her brother Luke created a website to sell it, and her mother drove her to radio stations and clubs to promote it. The family even bought a motor home with a sound system and equipment trailer. Miranda toured Texas music scene in 2002 and placed 2 songs from her CD on the Texas charts. In January 2003, she won a talent contest and qualified for the Nashville Star competition, moving to Nashville for the first time. After 5 months, she placed third out of 8,000 contestants and collaborated with winner Buddy Jewell on his Sony CD. Miranda became a Sony artist on September 15, 2003, after Tracy Gerson, a Sony music executive and Nashville judge, recognized her on the TV show and convinced the label to sign her. Miranda stated, "The Nashville Star saved me from 5 more years in the honky-tonks, but she was still hesitant to sign a recording contract. She feared they would change her unique songs and produce them like the next record. Typical Nashville record. I have my own style. I aspire to be unique among the many blonde women. Can sing. My desire has always been to stand apart." In a meeting with Sony executives, she stood up and said, "I'm from Texas, I write my own stuff, I have something to say, I'll never dance around on stage in a halter top, I'll always play my guitar now if I can't make a record that reflects me honestly." Miranda felt her heart racing, but the label's next words reassured her. She was surprised by Chief's words. John Grady encouraged her to record her debut album, Kerosene, which was released in summer 2004. 11 of the album's 12 tracks were written by her or her assistant, while the lead single, Me and Charlie Talking, was co-written by her father. Miranda stated that no one came to the studio to play songs, but Heather Little and John Grady stood by their word. Miranda said she couldn't believe it was happening to her, but she realized it was real and that she was meant to do this. She's excited and feels like everything is coming together. The album reached number 1 on the Billboard Top Country Albums charts and was certified platinum by RA for over 1 million units. It spawned 4 top 40 songs on the Billboard Country charts, including the title tune, which was a top 20 smash. Miranda toured with Keith Urban, Dirk Bentley, and Toby Keith in 2005. She won the CoverGirl Fresh Face of Country Music Award and was nominated for the Horizon Award that year. Her second album, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, was released on May 1, 2007, with 8 tracks and 4 singles. The New Yorker praised her record for demonstrating talent and charisma. Miranda, like Dolly Parton, was once underestimated, but her songs struggled to reach country radio. At the time, her singles only reached number 15 on Billboard's Hot Country chart, which frustrated her. She stated that she didn't understand radio and didn't feel like she fit in. Greg Swede Br., program director for country station Key, stated that Miranda was a talented female and that Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was a great record. He believed that anyone who bought the album would be pleased, but he did not see a hit on the CD. He said, "I hear 11 really good songs, but I don't think there's a giant hit. Although I enjoy the nastiest song in any genre, I don't think it's a #1 record because it's too angry, despite her tracks not reaching the top percentile of country radio. Miranda won the top new female vocalist award at the 2007 Academy of Country Music Awards, and her second album Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was named One of the Year. She released her third album Revolution on September 29, 2009, and co-wrote 11 of its 15 tracks. Other co-writers on the record include Lady Antebellum's Dave Haywood, Charles Kelly, and Blake Shelton. Miranda's third album Revolution was lauded by Rolling Stone upon its debut. Boston Globe, Slant Magazine. Entertainment Weekly called the release the best mainstream country album so far this year. She sang her new single Dead Flowers at the 44th Annual Academy of Country Music Awards on April 5, 2019, and released it almost a month later. It was a top 40 hit. The album's second single White Liar was released on August 17 and debuted at number 50 on the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, but by February 2010 White Liar became Miranda's first top 5 hit, reaching a peak of number 2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. Then the album's third single The House That Built Me was released the following month, and it became a number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, where it stayed for 4 weeks. It received an RIAA Platinum certification on July 8. Miranda had achieved what many had termed impossible, but it still wasn't over. Her album's fourth single Only Prettier and its accompanying music video went viral. It featured cameo appearances by fellow country artists Kelly Pickler. By December, Miranda's song, Only Prettier, reached number 12 on the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, marking her 7th top 20 hit. The fifth and final single from her Revolution album, Heart Like Mine, became her second number 1 hit on this chart. In 2010, Miranda received a record number of CMA Award nominations and performed at the 44th Annual Country Music Association Awards, winning the CMA for Female Vocalist of the Year and Revolution Album of the Year. In 2012, Miranda won a Grammy for Best Female Country Vocal Performance for The House That Built Me. She then embarked on a new project, The Girl Grow. Several months later, Miranda's album topped Billboard's country chart. In 2012, she made her acting debut on NBC's Law Order Special Victims Unit, playing Father's Shadow. She later stated that she never wanted to act and still doesn't. She just wanted to be on the show. In 2014, Miranda returned to music and released her fifth album, Platinum. 2 years later, she released her sixth studio album, The Weight of These Wings, and her third Pistol Annie album. In March 2016, she performed her first show outside the US and Canada as a headliner at Country Europe's largest country music festival, performing with Dwight Yoakam. After touring England, Scotland, and Ireland with Thomas Rhett and Ashley Monroe, her seventh album Wildcard was released in 2019. It was nominated for both ACM and CMA Album of the Year and won the 2021 Grammy for Best Country Album. Miranda completed the Marfa Tapes project with pals John Randall and Jack Ingram, which was praised by the media as her best work. She subsequently released her ninth studio album, Palomino and Pistol. Miranda has had a turbulent relationship with Blake Shelton, whom she met at the CMT 100 Greatest Duets concert in 2005. She provided backup vocals for his rendition of Michael Bublé's Home, which topped the Hot Country Songs list after a 4-year dating relationship. On May 9, 2010, Shelton proposed to Miranda in the woods near her Tishomingo, Oklahoma home. Miranda, 27, expressed excitement to marry Blake so she could love him forever and make him happy. On May 14, 2011, Shelton and Miranda married at the Dawn Strange Ranch in Bourne, Texas, north of San Antonio. The celebration was late due to guests: Laura Bell Bundy, Catherine Higgle, Josh Kelly, Reba Dierks Bentley and Kelly Clarkson. After 4 years of marriage on July 20, 2015, Shelton and Miranda announced their divorce. They released a statement stating that it was not their vision for the future and that they would move forward at their own pace. They request privacy and compassion during this difficult time. The last public appearance of the couple was at the Greenbrier Classic Music Festival. For years after her divorce on January 26, 2019, Miranda dated again for a period. Miranda shocked fans by revealing her secret marriage to Brendan McLoughlin. She posted 2 adorable photos from their love-filled day on Instagram, expressing her gratitude. Brendan McLoughlin for my love. Brendan McLoughlin had a kid from a previous relationship in November 2018, making Miranda the stepmother to a 3-month-old while enjoying her new family in 2023. Miranda and Holly Gleon co-authored the Day Street Books cookbook, Y'all Eat Yet Welcome to the Pretty Bee Titch and Kitchen. In April 2024, she departed Sony Music Nashville after 19 years and inked a significant joint agreement with Republic Records. Miranda revealed that her first single under the new contract, Wranglers, released on May 3, 2024, would be the lead single for her 10th studio album, Postcards from Texas. She also released a promotional single, Damn It Randy, co-written with her husband Brendan, on June 28, 2024. Miranda has grown from a child who pursued her